Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to TechNodeFirmaCraft. So, in between episodes here, I've been doing a little bit of work. I leveled out a little bit of the ground here around the hot spring. I collected a lot of wood and put a bunch of log piles here above to make a roof. I made some more of the medium vessels so that we could have a little bit more storage, and I collected up a few more of the pine saplings so that we could get a little bit more trees growing here later on. And I planted the bamboo over here, and it grows ridiculously fast, so I can harvest as much of that as I want if I can finally figure out what it's used for. So to start off today, we're going to take a look at the quest book, because some of the stuff that I've been doing has actually completed some quests, and we need to grab our rewards for that. So if we come in here, first off we have food and water. So first we had the food. The world is full of wild food. Some are some are dependent on the seasons, but seaweed is a dependable early game staple that you can find on the coasts. But the farther north you are, the less likely you will see it. And I don't know what all these little symbols are for, but okay. So this wanted us to get one seaweed, and I know I did that off camera, but it was pretty simple. I just cut some seagrass with a knife. Then drinkable water. You need to keep yourself hydrated with fresh water. You can drink from any pond if it has cat of nine tails in it, or from rivers and streams, but to carry water you need a jug. So we made the jug in the last episode, and I went and filled it with water, and so we get to take our reward here, which is 8 clay and a full heart. So let's go ahead and grab that, and then we'll go over here, Understanding Food Basics, where we learn the process to process grain into bread. So any seed bag will do. Now you will need to find a plant and harvest it for its seeds and plants if mature. Many plants like wheat can be found during late spring to late summer. All food is stored by its weight. Food decays over time. You can remove the decay on food by placing it in your crafting as long as you have a knife in your inventory. You can process rye and plants like it from their wild state into rye grain by crafting the rye and knife together. Rye grain decays slower than its wild state, flour or bread. So obviously if we get the grain, we want to keep it as grain until we need it. So this one gives us 16 clay and another full heart, so we're going to go ahead and claim that. And now, whoops, I didn't want to go out of that. So now we have 2 more hearts, so we're gonna go ahead and use those. And what else do we have here for quests? So the next one that I want to look at, we have the stone hoe. So with the rocks collected earlier, craft a stone hoe. The TerraFirmaCraft hoe has additional functionality that complements the revised farming system. With a stone hoe, using the mode change key will also let you check if a square is hydrated and if the plant on it is ready to be harvested. When you pick more mature crops, it will level your agriculture skill. You may find that you have additional abilities with hoes once you leave the Stone Age. So we need to make a stone hoe. So first thing I need to do is come down here and grab a little bit of my rocks, because we're going to need some of that to do a little napping. So now we'll look up the hoe, and what is our recipe for a hoe head, and that is this. Oh, excuse me. So we come in here, we'll have to remove a fair amount, and there we go, stone hoe. Okay, so we'll see what this, if there's more to this, and it doesn't look like there is. So then we get some rye seeds, another full heart, And then we get a choice of wheat seeds, carrot seeds, or soybean seeds. Now I know we have carrots and soybeans already. I'm not sure about the wheat. So let's take a look here. So this particular vessel has all of my seeds in it. And I have maize, carrots, and rice. I thought I had more than that. Well, we've got soybeans out and about, so we are actually going to take the wheat, because that is something we don't have right now. So we're going to go ahead and claim that reward. And now we only have a couple of quests left here in this one. So the looking for metals, it wants us to find a native copper nugget, and that may take us a little while to find. So we're not going to worry about that one just yet. And the fire pits, we need to make some torches. So my fire starter is about ready to die, and I guess I need to put this, well, first off we need to put some of these seeds back in here, and we don't have enough room for all of them anymore. Guess that's a good thing. So let's just see, can I hoe ground next to this hot spring? Yes, I can. So then we will grab our wheat and we'll plant it. And I think we'll do that with the rest of these seeds as well. Since it's still early summer, we should be able to get some harvest later on. Now, I don't know for sure. This probably won't be hydrated because of where it is, but we'll just have to see. And then finally we have some carrots here. I suppose, I think what I'm going to do there with the carrots, I'm actually going to come up here on top, and we're just going to make a line here. Alright, there we go. So that takes care of all of our seeds. And now we need to make ourselves a fire pit. Now I think I'm going to place the fire pit inside. Now we have to be careful. We don't want to place it right in front of whatever we're using for a door, because if you walk over a lit fire pit, you take damage. So we throw 3 sticks on the ground, and we'll go ahead and see if we can, well, we got it lit on the first shot. So then what we want to do, we'll just reach up here and grab some logs. And we will toss 1 log in here, and then we'll throw in some sticks. And I guess we can only do these 1 at a time, but that gives us 2 torches. So I'm going to go ahead and take these torches, and I want to place 1 in here, and, you know, I don't think I really want it. Whoa, see, and that's what I was talking about. We can catch fire. So I think I'm going to place that torch right there, and let's see what the quest book says now. So it looks like that one's done, so we get 4 oak logs and another full heart. So that's good. So all we have left now is the looking for metals. So I guess what I'll probably have to do now is go and do a little exploring, see if I can find some copper nuggets, and then I'll be back. Well, I finally found my copper nuggets. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a few of these. And I put down a piece of gravel with a torch on top of it to hopefully remind me that this is a spot that I found that. I also found some barley, and I killed a pheasant. Gave me a little bit of poultry and some feathers. So, yeah, I don't see any more. There's a little bit more. So usually there's more than 2 laying around. But what I'll want to do before I leave this area is cut a bunch of these trees down, and there's another one. And that should help me to find this location again. But so let's take a look at the quest book now. And so now that we have the native copper nuggets, now we have desperation. So you've not had luck with getting enough copper for your first tool. You are desperate. Well, there is gold panning. Put a ceramic bowl in the crafting grid to create a gold pan. Okay, so they want us to make a gold pan. So we'll take one of our ceramic bowls, put it in here, and we get a gold pan. Alright. Is that everything? I guess there's supposed to be something here, but now that you have a gold pan, you will need to sift through sand or gravel under running water to try to find bits of native copper. To do this, First, right-click on a block of sand or gravel. Next, right-click on an area of running water, which is usually one where it is moving downhill. Okay. You may also find bits of native gold or platinum as you pan. Not a terrible activity during the first few nights hiding, but be aware you will overwork the chunk in time. Okay. So then it wants us to pick one here. I'm definitely taking these native copper nuggets. And we'll go ahead and take that heart. We've got 30 lives remaining now. And the problem here is that we are running out of daylight. So I'm going to quickly nap up some axe heads and chop a few of these trees down, and then I will be back after I get that done. So guys, I'm back at the base. Done a little bit of work between clips. I have quite a bit more room here in the base area. Got huge amounts of wood on top. And I actually found a very extensive cave system nearby. I went caving just a little bit and almost got killed by a skeleton. So, yep, that's a pretty dangerous endeavor. But, so we're going to take a look at our quest book and see what we've got going on next. So now that we have completed the Stone Age, we are moving into the Casting Age. So let's take a look at what we've got here, and wow, we have a bunch of stuff to deal with here. So we've got two things that we can do here. First off, we have Out of the Stone Age, and then we have charcoal pits. So we're going to take a look at this charcoal pits first. So this is where we learn to make better fuel to burn. So the charcoal pit is constructed by creating a covered structure of log piles. The log piles are formed by shift-right-clicking the ground with a log. You will need to have at least 4 logs in a pile. If you drop a torch on the log pile, it will eventually catch fire. Cover this up so it is not exposed to air, and it will turn into charcoal over the next 18 Minecraft hours. So we need to get 1 charcoal, and I know you need a shovel to dig that out. So we're going to go ahead and go back out of that and take a look at what we need for Out of the Stone Age. So the secrets of basic metallurgy. The first metal you can make tools from is likely copper. You can find nuggets of metal on the ground, which indicates where is at least 1 ore block within 40 blocks of surface in that chunk. If you have really good luck, you can skip right past copper tools and craft bronze alloy tools. Now, I did find some bismuth, but I am minus. I think I still need zinc and tin to be able to make bronze. So I don't think we're going to be dealing with that, but what we need to do here is get 10 native copper nuggets. So I have that. If I can figure out which one of these pots I put it in, I think it's this one right here. So, whoops. Yep, so we have 13 native copper nuggets. I'm going to put 3 of those back in there. And let's come in here, and this is going to ask us now to make casts. So I've already made some casts, and they're already cooked in a fire pit too. But so this wants us to use clay to make casts. Casts are used to form tools from metal like copper and bronze. So we needed a pick mold, a pro pick, which is a prospector's pick, and a saw. So we still need to make the saw. And I think this pot right here has my clay in it. Pretty sure it does. Yep, so we'll make another pattern here. So let's see if we need the saw. The saw is done with this shape, so we'll go ahead and get that here. And I think I screwed it up. No, I didn't. What? Oh, it resets when you do that. Interesting. Okay, so there we go. There's our saw mold. go ahead and put the rest of our clay back and drop it back on the ground. And we'll go ahead and drop the rest of this as well and take a look at what we need now. So, smelting ores in a pit kiln. You now have enough nuggets to make one metal tool. Each nugget is worth 10 units, and it takes 10 units to fill one ingot or tool mold. Place the nuggets into a ceramic vessel and fire it with the 3 molds. If you are making alloy, be sure you have the right ratios. If you are wrong, you'll just get your nuggets back. When it is done, take out the saw mold and ceramic vessel with the liquid copper. Right click to open the vessel and place the mold inside. Once the mold is full, place it in your crafting space to remove it from the mold. The mold is destroyed and you will get a saw blade. Craft a complete saw using the blade over a stick. The saw is very useful at this point because it allows you to cut logs into lumber, which is used to craft a number of wooden items. Your first craft should be turning 4 lumber into planks and 4 planks into a crafting table. This will expand your personal crafting interface. This task accepts copper or any bronze saw. So we need to make ourselves a saw, but I think first I am going to make a pick, because we are in desperate need of getting more copper, and I have found a pretty good spot to get some copper. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these molds out of here. And yep, it's kind of a tedious process here. And I'm going to have to move some inventory around, but basically what I need to do now, I will take a vessel, which I don't have an empty one at the moment. I will throw in a little bit of stuff, and let's see here, I'll just throw this rotten flesh on the ground. We'll toss this in the hole, grab that, and now we need to just do our usual thing with covering this with straw and logs, and I'll light it on fire. Once we get that all cooked up, we will have a spot for the copper to go into in this pick mold. So I'm going to get this all done and I'll be back in just a second. So our fire has now died out, so we're going to go ahead and grab our ceramic vessel, open this up, and we will drop in our pick mold. And we'll see that that will rapidly fill up with our liquid copper that is inside of this. And we'll grab our pick mold back out. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit of junk back in this vessel. And now we actually have something that we can use. So I'm going to set this down. We got to close the door. And yes, I know I don't have much of a door, but it's better than nothing. So now we can take this pick mold, put it up here in our crafting grid, and we will get an axe head. So now we can make ourselves a copper pickaxe. So this thing, we're going to be able to go out as soon as day comes. Sorry, had to sneeze. But as soon as we get to daytime, we are going to be going off. And over here, this is where I found my copper. And we had 2 spots of copper and 1 spot of bismuth in this location. So pretty much anywhere here, if I start digging a hole, we should find something useful. So when day gets here, I will head down there, start digging, and hopefully we'll find some copper right away. So I will see you guys when we get some copper. So what I've been doing here is just spiraling down with my pickaxe, And actually, I guess I need to eat here. But, you know, I'm leaving a center pillar here so that the hole that I'm making is not very big. That tends to reduce on the amount of cave-ins that you get. And I didn't show this, but you get the small rocks from digging. But if you can dig around a stone block, you will get the block in the center if you completely detach it from everything else. So I got 12 of these claystone blocks, and then I've also gotten a couple of minor cave-ins here that gave me some cobblestone. Well, picking up cobblestone gives you this rock as well. But if you take your 4 rocks, you can craft cobblestone, and the cobblestone can be crafted straight back into rocks. So that is a bit of a space saver if you're running out of room, like I am currently. So I got down here and I found some copper. So I'm going to go ahead and start digging this copper out, and hopefully there's quite a bit of it down here, but we found the rhyolite layer by the looks of it. So, yep, but I got 1 of the native copper nuggets there. So I'm just going to have to kind of dig around here, find out what I can find. There will be quite a bit of this copper in the area, but I have to be really careful about how much I dig, because a cave-in can turn into a... it can turn into a cascade cave-in that whole bunches of ground can collapse at once. Get a little bit of copper here, I'll be able to make the saw that they wanted us to make, and then I can start making support beams, and we'll be able to come down here and actually do some mining. Now, one thing that you can do is get the Pro Pick, and it will tell you exactly where the center of a ore deposit is. So we've already got 12 of these, but unfortunately I don't have, or I didn't have the copper at the time to make the Pro Pick. And also I kind of feel like I want to keep some of this rhyolite rock. I think it's a little bit stronger than the claystone when it comes to making tools. I don't know if that's correct or not, but we're going to use a little of this dirt to get us back out of here. We'll head back to the base and cook up some more copper, and hopefully we'll be able to make ourselves a few more tools. So I will see you back at the base in a little while. So I got back to the base and made everything up here. I also found some soybeans that were ripe, so I went ahead and harvested those. So we're going to make some room here for all of our stuff. And yeah, we're going to grab all this out of here. So I went ahead and made a couple more clay vessels so that we would have a little bit more stuff. So first thing we want, I'm going to make this saw. That's the one that we wanted for the quest. Then I want a Pro Pick, and I forgot to make the mold for another regular pick, so we'll have to get that later. We're going to get our axe mold, or axe head, and then also we're going to make a javelin as well. I had a bear attack me when I first came out of the ground at the mine, and that was an Enderman. And yeah, I threw all my javelins at him trying to kill him, and he almost killed me. I never did kill him, I was able to run away. But yeah, bears are not exactly something that you want to be toying around with. So we're going to go ahead and drop these native copper in there. I don't know that I showed this. These are good for 50 units. Whereas if we look at our native copper nuggets that we were picking up, these are only good for 10. So actually we're going to go ahead and pull those nuggets out of there and put them in with the regular copper. And then we'll go ahead and pull our items out of our molds. So this is going to allow us to make several really good tools. So we'll start out with our saw. So we just learned the achievement Carpenter. We'll get our javelin. which this one we will keep in case we need it. We get the prospector's pick, which the prospector's pick will tell us if there's anything around worth mining, and then we will get our copper axe. But we won't be using this until we use up all of these stone axe heads. So let's go ahead and take a look at our quest book now, and it looks like that is the end of that quest chain, or this quest. So we get some native copper, chestnut logs, and another full heart. So we'll go ahead and grab that stuff. And now we have the art of mining. So first off, we have miner's tools. Metals and minerals are found throughout the world in veins and clusters. It is far easier to find most early deposits by using a prospector's pick from the surface. If you right-click with the prospector's pick, it will search around that point for traces of ore, and it will tell you how much was found. There is a possibility of getting false readings. This task accepts either copper or any bronze tool. So we needed our prospector's pick and our pickaxe, so it was good that we had that. So next up we have preventing cave-ins. As you may have noticed by now, most things are affected by gravity. When you mine raw stone, there is a chance that it will cause a cave-in. To prevent cave-ins, place 2 supports that are at least 3 high with 1 horizontal beam connecting them. This will prevent cave-ins. This will prevent cave-ins 1 block above and below and 4 blocks out horizontally from the horizontal beam. The vertical beams offer no support. So we need to make some chestnut support beams. So we'll have to use that chestnut that we just got. But now what we get to do is use our saw for the first time. So I believe those beams, if we look at the support beams, are made with the saw and 2 logs. So we want to take our logs, place them like that, and then we place these and we'll get 8 support beams, and I would prefer just to have all of those as support beams. So now let's go ahead and come in here. That is strange. We only got 2 out of that. Well, we most definitely have 16 here. Well, let me see if possibly making an oak support beam will count for us. I seriously doubt it, but we'll take a look now. Well, wonders never cease to amaze me sometimes. But so now we get to pick a reward here. The poor native copper, this is not all that great, but the support beams aren't that hard to make anymore. But I think we're going to take the copper instead. So we'll get a bunch more of those support beams, another full heart, and some more copper. And we're going to go ahead and use those hearts real quick. So we got 32 lives now. We'll go ahead and toss this copper that we just got in here. Now these guys are good for 25, so that's enough copper to make 2 tools. We've got 11 here, so we can make 5 more there. So yeah, we've got a little bit of copper there at the moment. So we'll go ahead and drop this back down. Now let's take a look at what else we've got, if there's anything else we want to look at. So we do have bronze, but we're kind of lacking on a couple of the other ores. But it says a mixture of copper and other metals make a stronger alloy. There are 3 kinds of bronze alloy available. The differences between the 3 are minor, so any will do. Bronze is an alloy of copper and cassiterite, which is tin, with a ratio between 88% copper to 8% tin and 92% copper to 12% tin. For example, 450 units of copper and 50 units of tin will give you 500 units of bronze. Bismuth bronze is an alloy of copper, bismuth, and zinc, with a minimum of 20% zinc, 50% copper, and 10%, that should be bismuth. Its maximum of 30% zinc, 70% copper, and 20% bismuth. For example, 100 units of zinc 250 units of copper, and 50 units of bismuth with a ratio... What? Oh, okay, that skipped too far. 50 units of bismuth, together you should get 400 units of bismuth bronze. Black bronze is an alloy of copper, gold, and silver with a ratio between 10% copper, 10% gold, 50% copper, and 10% silver, and 25% gold, 70% copper, and 25% silver. It will get you black bronze. For example, 50 units of gold, 100 units of copper, and 50 units of silver will make 200 units of black bronze. This task accepts any bronze alloy. So there's a lot of information in that little bit of reading there. Now, this stuff is a lot easier to find out. So if we look up bronze, we'll see all of these available here. So we have the bismuth bronze, we have the black bronze, and we have our regular bronze. Now, if we click on one of these to find our recipe, we see the 88 and 8 and 92 and 12 for the tin and copper, which that was in the book. And then, you know, it just shows you can put that into, or it comes out of a casting. You know, there's some other ways to get it later on, but we won't be worried about that just yet. It'll be nice when we can move on to this, the metallurgic infuser, but that is mechanism. We won't be there for a long time. And then, just like I was saying with that, you know, we can look at the bismuth bronze. It gives us all that information. So you don't have to try to memorize any of this stuff, but it is a little bit of math to figure out how much of each one you need to put in so that you don't screw the mix up. But, yeah, I'm going to check and see. I think we're getting pretty close to time on the episode. So I'm going to check on that, and I'll be back in just a little bit. Well, actually, guys, we have run over on time, so going to have to call this episode good. Say thanks for watching, and I want to thank everybody for the overwhelming support of this series. Couldn't believe how many views I got in the first day, so yep, I really appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And let me know if you're liking the series, if you've got any ideas, anything that I may be missing. And I will see you next time. Bye!